It's well established the Lower Mainland's real estate market is facing some tough times lately. Sales are way down and prices seem set to follow. In response, developers are resorting to incentives they haven't had to use in quite some time.
This is starting at $365,900.
At that price, the mortgage on this yet-to-be-built condo in South Surrey would be around $1,800 a month. But to entice new buyers, Morgan Crossing is offering a subsidy to reduce the payment by up to 45%.
And that brings it down to about $1,100. So that means that the mortgage payment for the first 2 years will be dramatically reduced from what it would be. Or on a one-bedroom, you can get in for about $675 a month.
Morgan Crossing is also offering buyers a sort of price guarantee. If the value drops between now and the end of construction, the builders will match it by up to 10%.
What I sense the market is doing is that they're hesitating, basically, because they're seeing listings up and they're seeing sales down, and people in times of uncertainty tend to hold back. And so, that's one of the reasons we're putting the incentives in.
The market is changing. Sales have plummeted just as hundreds of new condos and townhouses are coming onto the market.
Well, some of the things we decided to include were the hardwood floor in the living room.
At a new townhouse development, the Gateway at Morgan Creek, expensive upgrades are now included. And the price? Down by about $100,000.
Probably 8 or 9 months ago, we were thinking $529, $549 price-wise starting, and we decided we would price them aggressively at the start, and so we've decided to start at $459.9 plus GST.
It all adds up to good news for buyers who until recently were forced to endure lineups and costly bidding wars to buy their dream home.
And our real estate expert, Ozzie Jurock, joins us with more on this story. Now, Ozzie, we've seen a softening over the past several months, but August really had some harsh numbers.
Yeah, no question. I mean, sales were down since May as listings were rising. But in August, listings are up some 67% across the board, while sales are down across the board about 55%. But if you look inside the numbers in the condo area, it's even more dramatic. I mean, we have, for instance, the active listings overall are now up to 17,900. That's still not in our all-time record of 1998 when we were over 20,000 listings, but we're way up from last year. And the used condo price, well, it's still up by 4%. Listings are up almost 100% higher. Used home prices for the first time are 8% lower.
So is this, as some analysts are saying, a correction, or is there something more going on here?
Well, it's clearly a correction. I mean, we are down 8%. But if you looked at, for instance, the year 2006, the average price was still higher than it is today. And in 2005, still lower than it is today. And in 2005, the average price for used home was $606,000. So today's $776,000 is still considerably higher than it was then.
So what do you expect will happen in the future?
Well, I think when you look at the listings now, over 5,800 listings in the condominium market, that's going to be affecting prices. And as you've seen earlier and talked about earlier, builders and developers will come up with incentives. And in some market niches, there will be more pain because we have been overbuilding in some of those areas as well.
So what should buyers and sellers be doing right now?
Oh, well, certainly if you're a seller, don't worry about the market being down 55%. Worry about how you get your listing into the 45% that sell. That means list at MLS, price it well. Make sure that you have a realtor that's practicing real estate and not practices on you. You want somebody professional with a marketing plan and go for it. As a buyer, take your time. Take a good hard look. Make offers. You haven't had it this good for a long time. But remember one thing. 30 years ago, the average price in Vancouver was $13,000, and we didn't get to $800,000 in a straight line. We had dips and valleys. Real estate is cyclical, and now we're in a down cycle.
Are there certain parts of BC, Ozzie, that are faring this a little bit better or worse?
Well, I think Kelowna, we talked about it a year ago. Kelowna was overbuilt, 126 projects, everything coming on at the same time. We were just over-enthusiastic. So you see some areas hurting more than others. But everywhere, there's still opportunities. Mm-hmm. And I think that even in some of the northern areas, you still can buy a very nice condominium for $80,000 or a single-family home for $150,000. So a family can still find good values in those areas.
Okay.
The interesting thing is when people are really looking for deals, tomorrow we have a conference on the U.S., just U.S. real estate, and we have 700 people. It's a sold-out conference. So there's still people interested in real estate, just the price has to be right.
Right, okay. Always the rule. The price has to be right. Thanks very much, Ozzie.
Thanks for having me.
Our real estate expert, Ozzie Jurock, joining us from the Wall Center today.